going to discuss on the topic the environmental factors which are going to affect the business. So every entrepreneur must have an understanding of what is the various factors which are going to affect the business environment. So in this session, I am going to cover environmental factors which affect the organization, environmental analysis, business environmental analysis process, environmental scanning, methods of environmental scanning, and SWOT analysis. So let us begin with the various factors which affect the organization. So there are many factors which affect any organization, and the entrepreneur must have a good understanding of the business environment. So it includes socio-cultural environment, technological environment, political environment, legal environment, international environment, and natural environment. Now we will discuss in length one by one each factor. So first is the socio-cultural environment. So socio-cultural environment include the total social culture within which the organization operate. Culture consists of cultivated behavior of the individual within the society. Socioculture include the people attitude towards the work, role of the family, marriage, religion, education, social responsibility of the business. From marketing point of view, both caste and class plays an important role in deciding the source and type of marketing. So the entrepreneur must have a very deep understanding about the socio-cultural environment, because it plays an important role in the success of the business, in understanding the customers, in understanding the consumers' choice and preferences in a particular market. Now, it includes socio-cultural environment, also includes demographic environment. It is a study of perspective of population, that is its size, standard of living, growth rate, age, sex, composition, family size, income level, which includes upper level, middle level, lower level, educational level, etc. Every business unit must see these features of population and recognize their various needs and produce accordingly. So, the entrepreneur must understand the demographic environment in which the enterprise or the business or the organization is going to operate. Under the socio-cultural environment, culture plays a very important role, and it has a great impact on any business. So, and what does culture include? Culture consists of the cultured behavior of the individual within the society. Culture is very important because culture creates people. The actions, the behavior of the people, all are influenced by the culture. Culture and globalization plays a vital role. Culture determines people's attitude to business and work. Caste system is also part of the culture. Spirit of collectivism, education, ethics in business, social responsibility, social audit, and corporate governance. All these are factors related to the culture, which has a great impact on any business organization. Now, the another important factor which plays an important role, that is the technological environment. Let us understand what is technology. Technology is the systematic application of scientific or other organized knowledge to practical tasks. Technological environment holds new technological innovation, new products, the state of technology, the utilization of technology for maximum inputs and outputs, the obsolescence of technology, and the dynamic changes that frequently occur in the technologies which enable firms to get a competitive advantage. So, the organization must be aware about the technology and always ready to accept the new technology for the success of the business, because in every fraction of seconds, like if you see the electronic gadgets, the electronic products, these are changing very now and then. This is because of the change in the technology, upgradation in the technology. So one must understand the technological changes and adapt the business, adapt himself or herself according to the changes which are based on the technology. So technological environment includes various aspects, and it is very important because technology reaches people through business, because whenever there is a change in the technology through research and development activities by an organization, that has to reach to the public so that the public can get the benefit of a particular technology. It helps in increased productivity. With the help of new technologies, the productivity can be increased. Business needs to spend on research and development and keep up with the technological advances around them. Technology leads to introduction of new products as older products become outdated or obsolete and redundant. Technological advances leads to high expectation of the consumers in terms of quality. It leads to system complexity and demand for capital. So technology is a very important factor which influence the consumers, which influence the market, and it has a great impact on the organization as well. So a systematic application of scientific knowledge to practical tasks is known as technology. Every day there has been vast changes in the products, services, lifestyles and living conditions. These changes must be analyzed by every business unit and should adapt these changes. So right from morning you wake up till you go to bed at night, you are using n number of products and services. So all these products are changing every now and then. You are always getting better products than the earlier products. So this is all because of the technology. So in today's world, a business has to adopt technological changes from time to time for the survival. So constant innovation is necessary because the purpose of every business is to create and satisfy the customer. So for the technological changes, one has to be ready to adopt these changes, and a constant innovation is required for the success of any business and for the satisfaction of the customer. So every business enterprise has two basic functions in today's environment, that is marketing, and second is the innovation. If any organization is very successful or is very effective in innovation and marketing, so that will lead an organization onto the ladder of the success. Technological environment also include research based on decisions. Research identify the customer need and provide information for target setting and programming the complete marketing effort. And at the same time, innovations help by the establishment of research and development market in the enterprise. So the technological environment is keep on changing, it keeps on changing, and the entrepreneur or the business organization must be ready to adopt according to the technological environment. Another important environment which has a great impact on the business, that is the political and legal environment. So political environment means what? Political environment refers to the influence by the three political institutions. It includes legislature, execution, and judiciary. Legal and political environment provides a framework within which the business is to work, and its success depends upon the success with which it can face the various challenges comes out of the political and legal framework. So the entrepreneur, the person who is taking the initiative for starting a business must understand the political environments, must understand what are the rules and regulations, what is the what is the legislation process, what is the execution, what is the judiciary, what is legal, what is illegal. So what is the philosophy of a particular government? So one must have a better understanding of these aspects for the success of the venture. So political environment refers to the influence exerted by three political institutions that we have seen, that is legislature, executive, judiciary, in shaping, directing, developing and controlling business activities through the constitution of the country. We all know the country is the countrymen, and the country, the government, all are governed by the constitution of any country. So one must understand the constitution, the rules, the regulations, the rights, the duties which are mentioned in the constitution of a particular country. Then political organization, like which government is in power. Like if we talk of India, there are so many political organizations. Okay, we have Bharatiya Janata Party, we have Congress, we have Samajwadi Party, we have Aam Aadmi Party. So many parties are there. So which party is in power, which party is governing that particular location? So that must be understood by the by the entrepreneur. So he should also understand the political stability, because if the political organizations keep on changing, then all different political parties will come up with different ideologies, different philosophies, and that will impact the business. So this has to be understood very well. Then what is the image of the country and its leaders? Whether the leaders have a good image in the foreign countries, to the outsiders at the global level, because this will affect the business as well. Okay, if like as far as Modi ji is concerned, he is making very good relations and he is a good leader, and so that is the reason why many countries are ready to invest in our infrastructure, they are ready to invest in our country. So they are also allowing us to export our products in their country. So this is all which is based on the image of the country and the leaders. Then foreign policy. Okay, what is the foreign policy? Like what are the goods which we can import? What are the goods which we cannot import? What are the goods we can export? Okay, what are the various rules and regulations? What is the tax policy? What is the tariff policy? All these must be understood, because nowadays the business is not restricted to the local boundaries. Nowadays the business, what we call it as a global village. So it is not necessary that if you have started a business in your own local area, then in future you may need to set up your branches or export your products and satisfy the needs of the foreign consumers as well. So you must have an understanding of the foreign policy if you want to grow, if you want to expand your business beyond the local boundaries, beyond the domestic boundaries. Then what are the various laws governing the business? The entrepreneur must understand what are the laws, what are the rules and regulations, how to register a company, how to operate a company, what are the various labor laws, how do I go for registration of the company, how much capital is required, okay, what are the various business options which are there for the entrepreneur. So there are various different things which must be known under the purview of the political and legal environment. Then uh, what are the various uh, clauses related to the flexibility and adaptability of the laws? What is the judicial system in the particular country where you are going to operate? So all these aspects must be understood very well by the entrepreneur for setting up a business. Then, as I told you that nowadays the business is not confined only up to the local boundaries or to the domestic boundaries of the country. Now it is we are living in a global era, in a global village. So there is a vast scope for expansion of the business at the international level also. So international environment also plays an important role. It also impact the local business as well. So important factors that operate at global level which have an impact on the organization by way of exports and imports are first is the growth of the world economy. If there is a growth in the world economy, definitely it is going to impact the import and export of a particular country. Distribution of the world gross domestic product. International institutions which have their great influence on the trade and commerce activities, like institutions like IMF, then WTO, that is World Trade Organization, ILO, that is International Labour Organization. So all these international institutions have a great impact on the activities of or the business which are operating in various locations. Then comes the economic relations between the nations. What kind of relations the country have with a particular nation? Like during the corona period, we all know that most of the countries they did not have any or they were not interested in having any kind of relation with China. Okay, as it was presumed that that particular virus was spread by China. So the countries wanted to stop their economic activities, and like similar in our country also, in India, our government decided not to use various applications in computers or in information technology which were developed by the by China. So we were prevented from using those applications because our relations were not good with that particular country. So this also plays a very important role when we go for the environment, understanding of a particular business environment. The next is the global human resource, that is what is the nature and quality nature of the human resource, what are their characteristics. Okay, because people belonging to different location have different attitude, different background, different culture. So these also play to some extent impact the business, and it also includes the quality of the skills, what set of skills the labor are having, such as the whether they are highly skilled or moderate or unskilled. It all depends upon the nature of the business. Then mobility of the labor, whether the labor is ready to relocate, or whether the labor is ready free for undertaking the responsibilities away from the residence or from the family. So all these factors are also very important, which must be understood by the entrepreneur. Global technology and quality standards. So what is the technology? For example, for manufacturing laptops, like what technology we are using. Advanced countries, the countries which are very economically sound, what kind of technology they are using, what is the quality of the products they are using, so what is their quality standard. So depending upon all these aspects, one has to understand the international environment and global demographic patterns. Okay, because every country has its own culture. People have different income level, different in different countries. People have different attitudes, different values, different kinds of income structure. The foreign currency is different, so one must understand the demographic patterns. Okay, like in some countries there is no discrimination between male and female, but in certain countries like in India there is a lot of discrimination between between male and female. So what is the level of education, what is the level of literacy? Like in some of the countries where there is 100% literacy rate. Okay, but as far as our countries are concerned, India is concerned, as far as Pakistan is concerned, the literacy rate is not so good. Then what is the economic pattern? So all these factors must be understood in advance before starting a business. So the global environment refers to those factors which are relevant to business, such as WTO principles, that is the World Trade Organization principles and agreements, other international conventions, treaties, agreements, sentiments in other countries, etc. Like for example, a hike in the crude oil prices has a global impact because most of the countries are using petrol, diesel, okay, and various other products. So they are not having this they are not having the production of these resources in their own country, so they have to depend on the other countries, and there is a great demand in almost most of the countries. So this is how the international environment impacts a particular business. As far as these international conventions are concerned, like countries are having many agreements, okay, which are at their own, maybe in within two or more countries. Okay, they might be having some trade related agreements. Okay, so one must understand all these things, whether which agreement is going to impact, whether a particular agreement is going to impact or not impact a particular business in which the entrepreneur is desiring to enter. This international environment is very important because world is becoming one market, improving in the quality. Every country, every citizen of the country, every consumer wants to use better quality. Then competition from multinational companies, because of the globalization, because of the liberalization, privatization, there is a lot of competition. Then capital and technology transfers, there is an exchange of capital and technology between among the different countries, among different nations, then deciding which market to enter and what products to manufacture, then adjusting the management process. So accordingly, after having an understanding of the international environment, socio-cultural environment, the entrepreneur can in advance adjust the management process according to the environment. So next is the natural environment. So natural environment includes weather conditions, climatic conditions, natural resources, topographical factors such as soil, sea, river, rainfall, etc. Every business unit must look for these factors, because choosing the location for their business, one has to understand what is the what are the various natural resources which are available in a particular location, or what is the climatic condition. So all these things, because these resources, uh, the raw material of a particular business depends on these resources. So one has to understand the natural environment of that particular nation. So natural factors include geographical and ecological factors. So these factors include natural resources endowments, weather and climatic conditions, topographical factors, location aspects, port facilities, etc. So all these things are going to have a greater impact on any business venture. So the natural factors must also be taken into account before entering into a particular business. So after understanding the various business environment, after understanding the socio-cultural environment, economic environment, technological environment, political and legal environment, natural environment, so why it is necessary, why it is important? Okay, so because all these, after understanding all these factors, one has to analyze, okay, how the business can grow, or how the business can survive under the challenging and uncertainty of these factors. So it is the study of organizational environment to determine environmental factors that can significantly influence organizational operations. So how we can analyze? So we can analyze by measuring the weaknesses and strengths of the internal environment of the organization and the opportunities and threats of the external environment. So basically there are broadly we can say there are two types of environment. One is the internal environment and another is the external environment. So the entrepreneur or the businessman or the owner of the business can control the internal environment. These are controllable factors, but he does not have any control on the external factors. So one must be more concerned about the external environment, because it is uncertain and it is not under the control of the owner or the entrepreneur. Why it is important? What is the purpose of the analysis? Why one must analyze the environmental factors? So first, the purpose is to identify the political influence, or you can say the potential influence of particular aspects of the general and operating environments on business operations. The environmental analysis then it also influences corporate planning and policy decisions. So these are the main two reasons why the environmental analysis is very important for any entrepreneur. Now there are certain limitations also for this particular analysis. That is, the analysis does not guarantee business success, and benefit of the analysis is also limited by reliability and timeliness of the data used in the analysis. So the time factor, real time factor, and the reliability. So these two factors play a very important role in the analysis part. So your analysis may always not give you the accurate or the correct view of the environment, because it depends on the way the other factors also. So this may be this may be the limitation for a particular business. So even if you are doing the analysis, but it does not guarantee the success, but it can increase the rate of success of a particular business, or you can say the probability of success increases. So now coming up to the process of the environmental analysis. So there are 3 steps which are involved in the environmental analysis. So company must identify the environmental factors that affect the business. Secondly, then it gathers information about selected set of environmental factors that are most likely to impact business operations. And thirdly, this information serves as input to expect the impact of each environmental factors on the business. So these are the 3 steps which has to be followed for the environmental analysis. Now there are various methods of environmental analysis. So we will discuss one by one. So very popular and very useful method, which is mostly used by the entrepreneurs, by the business class, that is the PEST analysis. PEST stands for political, economic, social and technological factors. So this is basically used for the analysis of external environment. So it focuses on the external or macro environment in which your business operates. So this is important because to avoid taking actions that are likely to fail because of the factors beyond your control. So if you are having understanding of the political, economic, social and technological environment, then it will help you in the success of your business. Then it is a useful tool to use when considering expansion into new countries or regions. Yes, in the just earlier I told you that if a company or if an entrepreneur is willing to expand its business beyond the boundaries of the country, if it wants to set up its branches or sell its products or export its products in other country, then also this PEST analysis is going to be very helpful. It guides you and your company to make the most appropriate decisions about the future direction of the business. So in this way, it is very useful, very important for any entrepreneur before going for a venture. The another important analysis is the opportunity and threat analysis. So opportunity means it is a favorable condition or trend in the market environment that can be exploited to advantage by a deliberate management effort. So in any business, there are lots of opportunities are available. So one has to exploit those opportunities, and they can take the benefit, the advantage of that particular opportunity. There are some threats also. A threat means what? It is a favorable it is an unfavorable condition or trend in the market environment that can, in the absence of deliberate effort by management, lead to failure of the business, its product or its service. So there are certain unfavorable conditions which, if the management ignores, if it fails to take deliberate effort, then it may lead to failure of the business. So understanding of opportunity and threat is also very important, so that the management, the entrepreneur can take timely decision and avoid the uncertainties and loss to the business. Another method is called as SWOT analysis, very popular and very widely used by the organizations. This will help them to understand the internal as well as external environment. Okay, because the pest model, the pest analysis was useful or beneficial only to have a understanding about the external macro factors. But this SWOT analysis helps you in understanding the micro environment or micro factors as well. So this SWOT stands for strength, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, analysis, and it focuses more on the micro environment. It is very important because it is a versatile and can be used for both personal and business issues. By understanding the weaknesses of your business, you can manage or eliminate threats that otherwise could have come as a surprise to you. So here also, with the help of the SWOT analysis, you are very well aware in advance about what are your strengths, what are the weaknesses of your business, and what opportunities are there in certain circumstances, and what would be the possible threats. So this will help you in taking preventive measures, in taking a initial course of action, which will help you in avoiding the uncertain situations or meeting with the uncertain situations. It will help you as a cushion during the adversities. So now here there is an example for better understanding for all of you. Like every organization or the entrepreneur can divide these four factors, that is strength, weaknesses, opportunities and threats, into four quadrants. Here on the left side you can find the internal factors, and on the left side the external factors. Internal factors include strengths and the weakness. On the other side, external factors includes opportunities and the threats. So these internal factors are under the control of the entrepreneur, whereas the external factors are beyond the control of the entrepreneur. And let us see what can be called as the strengths, what can be considered as strength by an organization. Like here in this example, strengths may be the skilled and motivated employees, Okay, if the entrepreneur finds that my employees are very motivated, they are very satisfied, then this may be prove as a strength for that particular organization. The next is the well run purchasing production function. So if the purchase department is functioning very well, purchasing function is going on very smoothly, uninterruptedly. So this is also a strength for a particular organization. The marketing strategies are effective. If the marketing activities are doing well, this may be strength for a particular organization, and this is an internal factor. On the other hand, if we talk of the weaknesses, so weaknesses may be like high number of rejections during the production, then the production level, the production of the goods may not be up to the mark, may not be up to the standard. So there may be a lot of defects or damages, and because of this reason, the rejection level has gone up. So this may be the weaknesses. There is lack of perfection in the production activity. Another weakness can be called as like senior manager is approaching retirement. The senior managers, as they are very experienced, they may be having good leadership skills. They might be very good in negotiation and other kinds of potential they might be possessing, and now the time has come for the retirement. So this may be very bad for a particular organization and may be a weakness. The shortage of funds to finance expansion. The company might be desirous, or it might be desiring to expand its business, but due to the lack of funds, due to the shortage of funds, the company is not able to do so. So this may be counted as a weakness for a particular organization. Now, on the other side, let us talk of the external factors, which includes opportunities and threats. So opportunities means these are certain, you can say certain positive or favorable opportunities, favorable situations where the company can get more and more advantage. So it may be customers loyal to the brand. If the company finds that the customers are very loyal, they will not switch to other brand, they are very loyal to a particular brand, then this may be an opportunity. The company can think of expanding the business, or it can also think for diversifying, like a very good example, you can say Tata. So Tata feels that and it is confident that the customers are very loyal towards the brand. So that is the reason the company is diversifying its business, and now you can find its visibility in various diversified sectors. So another opportunity may be the new technology that can lower production cost, new markets, some untapped markets where there is a possibility of demand for our products. These are the various opportunities. Another very good example I would like to share with you all, that is the during the corona period, where the society was not allowed to go outside of their location, maintain distance from each other. Okay, socially everybody was isolated. So during that period, the physical market was not functioning. During that time, it was an opportunity for the online business. This was not a threat, but this was an opportunity for the marketers who were into the online business model, whereas it was a threat to those who were functioning on the offline or the physical mode. So the same thing can be an opportunity for one entrepreneur, it can be a threat for the other businessman. So this is required to be understood, that what could be my opportunities, what are the various areas where I can expand my business and get the benefit. At the same time, wherever there is opportunity, there is also some kind of threats, and these threats may be shortage of raw material. The company is ready for the production, the labor is coming every day, the workers are coming every day, the staff is coming every day, but there is no raw material. So that is a threat for the organization. Increasing rate of interest. The rate of interest is increasing. If the company has borrowed money from the lenders, from the outsiders, from the bankers, then this can be a threat for the company. Increased competition. Okay, this is also a kind of threat. Earlier, when the entrepreneur decided to start the business, it was having a monopoly. There was no other player in the market. But after a certain point of time, after 1 year, 2 year later, the many new people, many new competitors entered into the same business. So this is also a kind of threat for the organization or for the entrepreneur. So SWOT analysis is very important, and this SWOT analysis even you can apply to yourself also for improving yourself, for having success in your profession or success in your life. Now we will talk about the external environmental analysis. So external environmental analysis has 3 goals. First is it provides an understanding of current and potential changes which are taking place. Secondly, environmental analysis should provide input for strategic decision making. Thirdly, it facilitates and lead to strategic decisions within an organization. So these are the 3 important purpose, or you can say 3 goals of environmental analysis. So sorry for the interruption. Environmental analysis and diagnosis gives strategists time to anticipate opportunities and plan to take the optional responses to these opportunities. It also helps strategists to develop an early warning system to prevent threats, or to develop strategies which can turn a threat to a firm's advantage. The firms which systematically analyze and diagnose the environment are more effective than those which do not. So this is how the environmental analysis is very useful for the organizations, for the firms. Now we will see the process of an external environmental analysis. There are basically 4 steps for environmental analysis, which includes scanning, monitoring, forecasting, and an assessment. So what is scanning? Scanning detects early signals of possible environmental change and detect environmental change already underway. So this will help you in understanding, it is help you to predict what are the possibilities of, or what would be the challenges which the business need to meet in future, and accordingly this will help in preparing the organization in meeting the future challenges. So it will help to detect the early signals. The second one is the mentoring. After scanning, you have to mentor, means you must be very much vigilance. That is, the purpose of mentoring is to assemble sufficient data to discern whether certain trends are emerging, identification of these trends, and identification of areas for further scanning. Thirdly, forecasting. So it is concerned with developing projections of the direction, scope and intensity of the environmental changes. This will help in better decision making, and it will prepare you how to deal with the uncertainties which you have to face in the future. Then assessment to determine the implications of the organization's current and potential strategy. So these are the 4 important steps in the external environmental analysis. Now, as we discussed that environmental analysis, in the environmental analysis there are 4 steps. So first, as we have seen, that is scanning. So scanning, it is known as the process of measuring, projecting and evaluating the changes in the different environmental variables. Then the extent of environmental scanning is determined by the various factors, which include the relationship between the business and its environment, the nature of the environment within which the business operates, and the source and extent of change. So these are the 3 factors which are very important for the environmental scanning, and this is going to have a very impact on the environmental factors. So how to scan the environment? So there are various methods of environmental scanning. Updating relevant secondary or published information from a variety of sources, adding primary information or special investigations on particular aspects of the environment, establishing a scanning unit within the business. So this may be one of the steps for the environmental scanning. So these are the various steps which has to be followed for the environmental scanning. First of all, what is required? Defining the business mission and objective. So the business must have to decide, it has to decide the mission and the objectives of the business. What is the purpose of the business? How the business is going to help the society, the country. So all these things need to be defined in the initial step. After that, second is the SWOT analysis, that is analysis of the strength, weakness, opportunities and threats. So this will help in the environmental analysis and self-appraisal. You can accordingly prepare yourself how you can meet the present and the future uncertainties. The next step is strategic alternatives and choice of the strategy. This SWOT analysis will help in taking decisions or framing strategies, making strategies to meet the uncertainties, and there may be different strategies. So you have to choose the best alternative, the best strategy at this level. After this, the next step comes is the implementation of the strategy. After choosing the best strategy, the business or the organization or the firm is required to implement this strategy. And finally, after the strategy, execution of the strategy, one has to evaluate, that is monitoring, controlling of the strategy, whether the strategy was good or not, whether plan A was good, if the company is having plan A, plan B and plan C, and the company has selected plan B. So now after implementation, after execution, the company has to think of whether the strategy B was good or not, or the results might have been better if strategy A was chosen or strategy C was chosen. So this is how the evaluation is done, and for the further better planning, better execution, and for meeting the uncertainties, for understanding the business environment. So here is the summary. I hope you all must have understand what are the various business and factors which affect the organization functioning, its operation in the environment. We have discussed about the internal factors, external factors. We have also seen what are the various ways of analyzing the internal factors. We have seen SWOT analysis. What are the ways of analyzing external factors? We have seen pest analysis. We have also seen the process of environmental scanning, and then we have also discussed about the process of carrying out the business analysis, or you can say the environmental analysis for a particular business. So we can summarize that business and its environment depend on each other for the survival. So business has to operate in a particular environment. It cannot work in isolation. So environment and business are interdependent. Secondly, change determines success or failure. Proactive and anticipate change also accelerates change. So change is a very important factor. We cannot, and change is permanent. We cannot avoid change. We have to change according to the changing environment. And for that, one has to anticipate in advance what changes could arise and be ready to face those changes or those challenges. Adapt organization to change in environment. Organization must adapt those changes and make changes accordingly in the environment. So environmental scanning for taking advantage and averting threats. So dear students, I would like to stop here, and we will discuss the other aspects of environment analysis